once again, we have to distance ourselves from Tiamat because that is a copyrighted and trademarked thing. You know what I mean? Ever since the fucking 70s animation of Dungeons and Dragons, even before then, you know, I mean, that is a copyrighted character. Like, we can use Tordek because we're not using him. I mean, that's a fan-made fucked with thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Granted, there is a character with the same name, but it's not being used for the same.
It is totally not the same character. Yeah, it is a transformative. It's a transformative work, so we can get away with that. Tiamat, on the other hand, the multiple heads is such a thing about her. We can't use that. But tentacles, though, we can use tentacles.
It's just so vintage.
Oh,
and
you know what's
classic.
even worse? What if the tentacles can? What if she can like pierce a person's back with the tentacle and control them like a puppet like that? So she can actually take off a tentacle, like, you know, like I can see a scene where it's like somebody's running, it's like, oh, you're pretty, smash right through their chest.
It's just like tentacles, though.
That too. No, and then the person's like looking at the tentacle as it pierces their chest, and the tentacle's like, you're mine now. And then like she can actually cut the tentacle off, or like it's not, it pops off, but it's still connected to her, like spiritually, so to speak. So the tentacle's inside of the person. And so she has these different assistants.
Each one of them has seating, pretty much.
Yeah, and each one has a tentacle inside of them that when they die, the tentacle just kind of comes out, and then fucking like slithers away to go rejoin her.
Honestly, I do like that Zerg type. Obvious, but it's got you know, given her connection to dragons in general.
I would rather dragonlings. I would rather mutated dark dragonlings.
Actually, you know, like. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, I want an Uruk-hai version of dragons for her. Because I was thinking about, not darklings exactly, but minions. Being born from the creche of chaos and as the agent of chaos, which is what she is. Technically, in the Generalist, on the macro level, she's a revisionist. She's a direct agent of chaos. Kaegro is not. But as Kaegro learns more about what's going on in the backstage, he's going to realize where his place is in the world, which I need to point, I will do this as a spoiler. One of the things about becoming overpowered, even though there's 3 hard and fast rules about it, 1,000 point gnosis, the ability to move between dimensions, and whatever the third one was, I don't remember. But there is an ipso facto, I have it written down somewhere, there's an ipso facto 4th thing, and that is you have realized the truth of existence. And actually, it's one of the greatest attacks that a certain character in the show, in the Generalist, has. In the show. A certain character in the Generalist, his greatest attack is not only to share 2 things. Because of his empathy, he can share memories, and he can twist and pervert them and fuck you up that way. One of his best attacks, outside of absorbing your whole fucking existence into his own, I think I just gave away too many hints, whatever, is the ability to share the time where he survived a Psyker Demon. A Psyker Demon is a shortcut to an overpowered, basically, level creature in Neo LA. Not Neo Tokyo, mind you. Neo LA has this issue with Psyker Demons. It's one of those things. It's what makes it special. But because of that, he can share that memory, and because Psyker Demons are just that fucked in reality, it can fuck just about anything up, even though they're overpowered as far as even the memory suffering from that. And normal people suffering that memory, they're not going to survive that. But the second thing that he'll share is the fact that all of existence, the entirety of the multiverse, everything that exists, no matter which dimension it is, the infinity of dimensions constantly spawning, which is why hub worlds spawn shadow worlds to begin with, is that it's all to fight against non-existence, because ultimately existence is just a speck of dust screaming into the true infinity of the void. That is the truth of everything. And when in order to become an overpowered, you have to experience that on your own. And an overpowered does. An overpowered, on their own, upon leveling up and then gaining that 1,000 point gnosis, they suddenly realize they ain't shit.
And
you
honestly,
ain't shit. Nothing is shit.
That would also give more credit to why we had Kaegro, you know, shade off.
Yeah. But Kaegro, don't forget
Darius,
Kaegro,
because that might have been something Craze shared with him at one of those points.
Actually, I would like to do for the storyline that Kaegro learns about this on his own. Let's not forget.
Or he could have been just rummaging through her, you know, browsing her library.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was going to point out, the library maze. I need to point out that Kaegro, he's the only... Okay, I'm kind of fast-tracking him onto overpowered status, and there's several reasons why. Eventually. Like the end of the Generalist,
he's too much of a bon vivant at his point in time.
But even more so...
He likes doing what he's doing, but if the power does come he finds a route to it.
Exactly. He's got not a shortcut, but he has figured out an alternate method of acquiring overpowered status. As a god, he should not have been able to become a higher god and then look further, but just from his association with Harkonnen Craze. But also, let's not forget, he is now the son of an agent of chaos. Much like with, once again, I hate to point out the Yoshida and North Boy.
Oh no, there's going to be a PR storm for him there.
Exactly. He would eventually realize or come to terms with the fact that the more eldritch knowledge he gains, and that's the other thing, is that gods of knowledge would probably learn something like this, but even though I want him to accidentally stumble upon it in the library maze, and that's when he realizes, holy shit, and like, he knew how strong Harkonnen Craze was, and he knows what overpowereds are, but he doesn't know why overpowereds are. Nobody, except for the Extreme Existence, has an answer as to why hub worlds are spawning alternative realities. Why are they doing this? Nobody knows, except for when you reach a certain point and you realize, oh shit. And yeah, a god of knowledge isn't going to normally know this. A god of knowledge is only going to know what they know, and they try to increase their knowledge. That's true. That includes
and that is
Kaegro.
A secret, and
exactly.
What him and Craze both brokered in. One
of the strongest secrets, nonetheless. The secret, one that cannot be accepted by anybody below a 1,000 point gnosis. Even a rising force or a beyonder would be like, well, I know that the rising force, like a beyonder, I know the rising force that I have to control this quadrant, but I don't know why. I'm just going to do it because they'll fucking smite me. You know, higher gods. A god will do what a higher god does because higher gods are the ones that shepherd them during their reincarnative cycle. You know, or cycle of reincarnation. You know, no gods can ever die. They just turn into a book in a library maze, in a library somewhere that only the higher god can access. Although one character did access that, but that's in a different thing. That's in the postal RP. But either way, there's precedence.
Kaegro just gets to sit behind his desk, spinning a big key.
Exactly. That's the reason why there's not a lot of
himself, going.
That's why there's not a lot of higher gods. But when a person becomes a higher god, then it becomes the job of the next level up to determine which higher god is going to shepherd the other gods, while the other higher gods go and do their thing in the world. When there's a world,
can't forget Kaegro. We can also do a lot with all the enemies Kaegro made to get to that status.
True.
As fast as he did, swindling everybody, pinning people against people while he's taking the pot.
Which would put the creature that's above a higher god in a particular situation of stewarding, of all people, Kaegro. It's like, well, you know, I can't really have you in the library watching and waiting over these other gods because you pissed off so many.
And especially with the death of Craze, you have the growing animosity and the hunt for who did it.
Now, see, that's actually after what I'm thinking, but I do understand what you're talking about. And especially with the hunt for who did it, though, Kaegro would know of this. It was known who killed...
knowing who did it
Order
is
the Black
one
Sword,
thing.
yeah.
But hunting down the one who gave the command...
And they would go to Kaegro for that secret, probably.
And the one who... No, this is something Kaegro's would be hunting down.
But it was known. Remember, it was public knowledge that... well, no, you're right. It wasn't public. It was hidden by Bahamut.
Yeah.
Because if people knew that the Order of the Black Sword, that fucking her own granddaughter killed her on behalf of Hachiko Masaharu... Yeah, you're right. I mean, my bad.
Not only that, he lost, like we covered, he lost a big thing. And Kaegro doesn't like to lose anything.
He lost a big thing.
He lost his wife.
That's true, yeah.
The one person he cared about almost as much as himself.
The moment he reabsorbed his avatar with the memories, yeah, that's going to... Love will find... I would like to think that Kaegro would change in the name of love. He would pull that techno.
He did to a point.
Yeah,
but old habits always find a way of coming back, like Debbie showing up.
Debbie, I would think that Kaegro, the first thing he would do is go to Bahamut, being either Bahamut or even nerd.
No. There's always the point. He always had a process. There's the friendly visit. We're gonna talk this out. If that doesn't work, we're gonna try financial overtake.
Well, let's not forget that Bahamut wasn't higher god as well in this. Although, do we need a new name for him? I don't know. Either way, I'll figure it out later on. That's actually beyond the Generalist. Remember, I haven't even written Neo Tokyo Unit 13 yet.
I know. You could probably tweak with some names. It is a pretty vague name.
But I just want to keep it close to Bathmat.
It's used by so many different franchises.
Well, yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy.
It's kind of open.
So I don't think TSR or Wizards of the Coast.
TSR, Wizards, Final Fantasy.
So I think they can actually get away with Bahamut. Yeah.
Use it.
Bathmat. I just want to use Bathmat continuously as a derogatory term for him.
Well, that is one of the names Kaegro uses all the time because even though he is order, he still knows that his origin is from evil.
Really quick, I'm going to break off at this. So, once again, I'd figured out that the sweet spot for my computer is 20 minutes, if not 15 minutes. So every now and then I'm going to look over at the time and say, oh, we're breaking off.
All right.
Now.